this tragedy that's going on, and I just want to say that my heart goes out, my prayers go out to everyone that's affected by this, and every family that's been affected by this. I do care. It is a tragedy. One, I do believe that this could have been manipulated, the weather could have been manipulated by the elite to make the storm the way it is. I mean, because if you look at this 6, looks like a 6 there. I mean, every single swirl looks like a 6. I mean, but it does warn us in the Bible that in the end times will be massive storms, there shall be earthquakes, but I believe it's just the elite basically making the weather go this way because they have got the power to do this. Many people will probably say, oh, God controls the weather. Yes, God does control the weather, but these elitists, if you look up, I do believe that they have got the power to do this because they have got the machine that is HAARP, if you look it up. There we go. And if you look it up, this actually exists. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Seems funny, doesn't it? How suddenly an earthquake now happens in Mexico. And this is a predicted card. 1995. I do believe that it was manipulated, that they did this. See, what you gotta understand is the elite are sick people. They control this world. Well, they don't control this world, Satan does. They're just puppets. But as you see, this is total proof. This was created in 1995. I mean, honestly, earthquake project, that means they did it. I do believe that they did it. I mean, they've got this. Why would these machines exist if, I mean, many people are going to go, oh, HAARP isn't real, it doesn't exist, Why do these machines then exist? Why do they exist? Because this is what HAARP is. They mess with the weather. Chemtrail, that's why they're doing chemtrailing and all that, and they've also got the ability for, it's basically called Project Bluebeam. They can create holograms. And all that, high frequency. See, they can make things like this happen. Notice the rainbow color as well. If you look up Mexico, before an earthquake was struck, light shined in the sky exactly like this. I do believe that they're doing it. Weather Control Center for the New World Order, they want to depopulate the world because not many people are dying, so they want to get the population down. See how they can mess with the weather? See the clouds? They can do this. They can mess with the weather to make it like this. I mean, look at this. This is not normal. Look at it. This is chemtrailing. This is not normal. I mean, look at it. It looks like some alien spaceship. This is what they do. I mean, you can't say this is normal. This ain't normal. This is what the elite do. They program the weather, mess with it, so things, storms and that, like, happen. I mean, you can't say this is normal. I mean, that's why you see strange weather like the massive black cloud that was seen over a city like this. This ain't normal. This is called HAARP. They mess with the weather to make this happen. I mean, honestly, look at this. This is not normal. This is called HAARP. They mess with the weather to make things like this happen. I mean, many people that, if you don't believe that the elite can control the weather, then honestly, they control the world. They control everything. The devil controls this world. As they say, the devil is the god of this world. As we see, look at this. An earthquake. Predicted programming. This was all planned out. Disasters. This is what they want. Next, most likely, will be London. Who knows? I don't live in London, so anyway. This is what it's all for. The New World Order. That's what they want, the New World Order to come in. As we see as well, notice the hunger, world hunger, people starving and dying. All this has been planned out for generations to generations. It's nothing new. I mean, you look at this is what happens. They shoot a beam up into the sky, and it messes with the weather. It creates whatever weather they want, tornadoes, earthquake. You can't say this is normal. It ain't. I mean, look at this. Looks like portals are opening. This is called HAARP. They're messing with the weather. They want depopulation. That's why they're causing all these earthquakes, these tsunamis and all that. These unexplained lightning events. It's HAARP. They're messing with the weather. They're totally messing with it. Look at this. This is what they've been doing. Chemtrailing, basically poisoning the air with toxins, and so people will get sick and die. This is what they do. The elite are sick. It's sick. That's what they do. I mean, they do this. They manipulate the weather to how they want it to be. Like this. Geoengineering, this is what it is. Notice the chemtrails. Then you got this cloud sending, space mirrors. This is what they do. This is what they've got. And many people will go, oh, this is not real. You can believe what you want because this is the reality. They mess with the weather to create their own geoengineered weather. That's what they do. And it wouldn't surprise me if the solar eclipse was a geoengineered thing. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, because you can't say things like this is normal. Looks like there's a UFO in the sky. But most likely Project Bluebeam, because Project Bluebeam, I mean, look at this. This is Project Bluebeam, creating holograms. So what they do, they can create holograms and all that, like this. They create holograms. This is what they do. And as well, poison, this is what they do. They poison the air with chemtrailing to depopulate the population. I mean, look at it. This is what they want. World War III. It's all predicted. All predicted. The pentagram, all these cards are they're basically saying to you, this is what we're gonna do. Things like this is not normal. This is called HAARP, holograms, making the weather look like a UFO. It's not natural and it's not normal. As we see, more HAARP, predictive programming, weather, geoengineering. Honestly, and I do pray for the people that are basically are victims of this, because, as I said, I do believe it's the elite that are doing this. I do believe it's the elite manipulating the weather so it does this. Because I don't believe anything the world says or the media says. I mean, this happened as well. People saw it live. That isn't a comet. A comet basically shoots normal. I mean, hologram. That's why you've been, I mean, look at this. 6, 6, 6. It's a hologram, predicted stuff like this. Look at this, a planet. You can't say this is normal. It ain't normal. It's not normal. This as well. HAARP. I mean, look at it. Can't say this is normal. It ain't normal. It's called the messing with the weather. And I'm going to show some more proof that it's happening. I mean, look at this. This is even more proof that it's geoengineering, because this has never been seen before an earthquake. This here, they basically, where you see the lights flashing, that's them shooting rays into the clouds to cause the weather to be the way it is, violent. They shoot basically rays into the clouds to make these things happen. I mean, before the earthquake, these basically lights here start flashing. This ain't normal. This is not natural. This ain't natural. And then right after this, basically an earthquake happens. Seems funny, doesn't it? It just proves it that they're messing with the weather. As you see, light. Looks like some nuclear bomb going off. That's what it looks like. A nuclear bomb going off. As we see. I mean, this here is just even more proof. I mean, people can deny it as much as they want, but this is basically a movie that basically openly admits that they can control the weather. And it seems funny, I don't know how old this film is, but this is predictive programming. I mean, we look here, we look at this. What happened? What is this? Hurricane. Seems funny, doesn't it? Oh, in a movie they predicted a hurricane like this, and the hurricane that happened suddenly looks exactly the same. This is called predictive programming. If you want to believe that the government don't control, can't manipulate the weather, then I don't know what to say, because they can manipulate the weather. They admit it, and this is not the only movie they admit they manipulate the weather. So depopulation, because people are not dying as much anymore, they want to depopulize. 666. I mean, you just look up the hurricane that happened. Looks exactly the same, doesn't it? Seems weird, doesn't it? I believe they're probably planning some more in the future. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look at this. This is what they have. And it basically showed, there's footage where it basically shows NASA basically looking at the hurricane overhead. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they can control the weather. They can manipulate it. That's basically, these shoot rays. I mean, they've got so many satellites around the Earth. And they say, oh, that's just to examine the Earth and all that. No, it isn't. One, it's used for mind control. And as well, HAARP. It's all controlled by the government. Then we see this wave comes across, because they've controlled the weather, manipulated it to do this. They're probably planning a tsunami, who knows? Because many people think, oh, this is judgment. This is Judgment Day, God's coming soon, this is what they're doing. It's a manipulation. Because if they can make you believe that Jesus Christ is returning, you're gonna think when the Antichrist comes, that it's Jesus Christ. This is the plan. I believe they're just manipulating it all to make it look like the end times. So when the Antichrist comes along, everyone will go, oh, this is Jesus Christ. No. People actually think that they're going to be raptured before the mark of the beast. No, it's not going to happen. Because because the rapture happens before Judgment Day, doesn't happen before the mark of the beast comes. And all that's tribulation. But as we see, it's being manipulated. It's being manipulated by them. They're manipulating the weather, how they want it to happen. And it seems funny, isn't it? Made me look here, they're manipulating the weather here. That's what they do. That is what they do. They manipulate the weather. That's what they do. And this is another movie. What do we have here? Weather as a weapon. And it's on the history. This is what they do. Use the weather as a weapon. Manipulate the weather. Most likely they'll manipulate the weather again to create a tsunami. See, the elite have planned this out for generations. Satan wants to destroy America. He wants to destroy every country. See, this is just, I mean, when it says weather as a weapon, they're openly admitting it right in your face, that they manipulate the weather. I mean, they're openly admitting it here. Oh, when people go, HAARP doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. They're openly admitting it right here that it exists. How it works, HAARP, the High Frequency Activator Raw Research Program, or HAARP, has been called a missile defense tool. Yeah, sure it is. control device, the truth is a bit less. I mean, this is what it is. They say, oh, it's to stop missiles and that. Yeah, sure it is. It's to manipulate, and this actually exists. They shoot rays, these things. They're admitting it. They're admitting it right in front of you. See this cloud? Not natural. It's not natural. It's HAARP. This is what they do, create holograms and that. But of course people are going to say, oh, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. HAARP doesn't exist. It's proof. See the waves? Now notice this with this is most likely what it was. With Mexico. Notice how it's shooting out a circle like it was seen in Mexico. Wouldn't surprise me if they were firing this up. And it obviously, these shoot different, most likely different colours. They shoot these ray things into the clouds. It does stuff to the weather. And then the earthquake comes along. As you see, noticed how it's like it wasn't a Mexican earthquake, like it's a nuclear bomb going off. They shoot these rays into the earth, they go into the atmosphere, and it causes bad stuff to the weather. There you go. Create stuff like this. So I'm sure if they can do stuff like this, they can surely manipulate the weather. There you go. False clouds. False clouds. That's how they manipulate the weather. This is what they do. Notice the false clouds here. The ones in the bottom most likely natural, but who knows these days? I mean, if they can do this, sure they can fake a cloud. I mean, as you see, they're just admitting it here. HAARP program purpose to, I mean, of course, program to commit a world-class, notice how it says high frequency here, high frequency into, which is also used in mind control. As you see, notice how it's creating those like ball effects, like what was seen in Mexico. I believe this is what it was. They were firing this up, and these because it just looks the same. Notice the balls are different colours. Shooting it. These would have been shot in the air near Mexico, because I'm sure they've got things like these all over the world. I mean, this is proof that they're admitting it. There we go. Heats up the atmosphere. We all know what causes thunder and all that. Heat and cold mixed together creates thunder. So if they heat the atmosphere up as much, I'm sure that can cause an earthquake. They're admitting here. They're admitting that they manipulate the weather. I mean, look at this. In the future, they already do it now. I mean, look here, this is what they do. They manipulate the weather. They can manipulate the weather. Look at it. Notice it's the same as the hurricane. This is total proof that it was manipulated. They manipulated it so it would go like, notice how it's like, notice like it's a demonic face here, the eye here, the other eye, the mouth. Notice this, like the hurricane that happened recently. This is proof. Wake up. They can manipulate the weather whenever they want and use it against us. This is what they do. They think they can play God with the weather. And when they play God with the weather, bad things happen because you're not supposed to mess with the weather. Every time they mess with the weather, causes bad things to happen because it's not meant to be done. I mean, they're admitting here they've been doing it for years and they still do it today. I mean, you just look at this is even more proof. 2012 attacks. What do we see here? Hurricane. Predictive programming again. Weather satellite. I mean, come on now, wake up. You think they can't manipulate the weather? The gaming cards are here, proving there was an agenda from day one. Early warning. I mean, smoking gun proof that terrible events many years ago to bring down our culture. Natural disasters planned this. Yes, it may be a natural disaster, but they caused it. They caused it to happen. They manipulated the weather so it would do it. And then they go, oh, we knew nothing about it. Yeah, sure you didn't. You're the ones that caused it. I mean, we just look at it. I mean, people said, oh, 9/11 wasn't an inside job. Oh, it was a terrorist. It was a terrorist. No, it was planned. These cards ain't. You can't say, oh, these cards were made after 9/11. No, they weren't. They were made way. They were made in 1995, as far as I know. That was way before 9/11 happened. So there's no worming around it saying, oh, these cards. It could have just been a coincidence. No. Princess Di. And she was taken out. She supposedly died.